What's going on, team? Welcome to an episode of the Keep Going Podcast, Season 2. This is your co-host, Luke Wheat, coming out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Before the show starts, make sure to follow us on our socials, okay? Twitter, the Keep Going Pod, Insta, the KG Podcast, and YouTube at the KG Pod. Just a reminder that we are not psychiatrists and not psychologists, just a couple ex-athletes trying to make a difference and end the stigma of mental health. Thank you guys for listening, and let's get to the show. Welcome to episode 68 of the Keep Going Podcast, Athletes Shining a Light on Mental Health. This is your co-host, Luke Wheat, coming out of Charleston, South Carolina, joined by Pat O'Malley and Matt McNaughton. Pat, where are you coming out of right here?
Yeah, so no disrespect to the HQ, but I am not there today.
Hey.
I am on a bike in my living room out here in Roscoe, Illinois. Matt, where you at, brother?
I'm coming to you live and direct from Maryville, Tennessee.
Love
it, man. Love it. Go Scots, baby. I'm already fired
Go
up,
Scots.
baby. Go
Thanks
Scots.
for having me on, boys.
Oh, man, the
having me on.
energy
I've
is
been excited about this.
flowing. Well, I love it. I love it. Well, it's episode 68. I want to make sure we get rolling the right way. We always talk about a sports player. Matt, did you come prepared with a number 68 today?
No, I did not. 68, that is a really tough one.
I don't want to say atrocious.
Real tough.
I don't want to say atrocious, but it's kind of an atrocious number.
Just not a good one. And when I went to the old Google machine, I found former offensive lineman Gabe Karimi. So any Bears fans out there that know that he stuck around for a little bit of time, Gabe Karimi is my 68 today. But on a serious note, Matt, we're a mental health podcast, man. We're happy to hear about your story today. Talk about when things are going well, man. When you're having a good day, good week, good month. Talk about what keeps you going and moving in the right direction.
Yeah, well, I am currently in talk therapy, and it has completely changed my life around for the better. So I have a lot more good days than bad days now, which is really cool. But what it actually looks like for me usually is I'll hang out with my friends. I'll get re-energized by my friends or my girlfriend, but then I also get enough time to spend with myself and reflect on things inside and really work through some of that stuff before going out and hanging out with people and just kind of pushing it aside. I let it kind of sit up front with me for a while before I go do anything. That seems to, let me have better days almost every day.
I love that, man. Putting it up front with yourself. I've never heard it explained that way, but that's such a great priority piece there, not only for us, but for our listeners as well. Talk about your story, man. Obviously, you're Luke's boy. You've been good friends with Wheat for a long time. How did this connection get going? And talk about your time in Maryville.
Oh,
yeah. Well, yeah. So I'm a couple of years older than Luke, I guess. We knew each other in college. We were very nice to each other, good acquaintances, but I wouldn't say we were hanging out or anything. We'd see each other, out in different things and say what's up. But I don't know, it seemed like after I moved back to Maryville, couple 2 years ago, we just kind of found each other and just it clicked, and then it became we were inseparable for a whole summer. We'd hang out every night and then go play golf the next day.
Love it, man. Love it, man. Then Luke, what does Matt mean to you, man? How has it been with your kind of this reemergence of your friendship, I should say?
I think when you think about a friend and when you think about keeping good people in your corner, I've been, I haven't talked specifics about, gambling on here or anything like that and amounts of money, but I'll tell you this, if Matt was not here today, then I would have zero money to my name. And that's how good of a friend he is to me. And if I need something, I know I can call Matt. If he needs something, he knows he can call me, and I'm just going to be there. It doesn't really matter what's going on. That's what Matt means to me. I'm gonna get a little emotional talking about it right here. But the first 5 minutes in, but
oh boy,
Matt, I knew Matt was fit for the pod just because of what he means to me and what he's helped me with in my life, but also because I know he has an athletic background as a cross country runner in high school, moving into Maryville College, and I know that kind of played a part in his mental health journey. So I do want to shout out Matt for all he does for me on a day to day basis, but also want to give him his flowers here. Kind of talk about your mental health journey through cross country in high school and college, Matt.
Yeah, I guess I kind of have to start maybe a little bit before high school. I grew up not being the biggest kid around. I was short and skinny, and finding sports that really fit, because that's all I ever cared about growing up was sports, was kind of tough. So finally in high school, I started to run and find a lot of success in that. But I always been dealing with some mental health issues. I kind of just put it on the back burner though for a long, long time, and then in high school it really came to a head. I was at a big public high school, and my mental health had just deteriorated. I didn't really have any friends around me anymore. Um, you know, I was really just kind of sitting alone the whole time, and so I ended up, you know, with some self-harm stuff, and then finally an attempt on my own life, my sophomore year of high school, um, which was all kind of crazy now to think about. Like, that was so long ago, but it still had like such a big and lasting impact.
Mm-hmm.
But like then I switched high schools, and that changed a lot for me. Not just mental health wise, but athletically. I instead of being a tiny, tiny little fish in a big pond, I became a very big fish in a very small pond very quickly. And so I found a lot of athletic success. My times running wise dropped drastically within like 6 months. Um, and yeah, and that kind of just like fed into college. Like, all I ever wanted to do was be a college athlete. I found a sport that I guess enjoyed enough, but I was good at. So that's what I stuck with. And like that was all I ever wanted to be, was like, yeah, I'm a college athlete. Yeah, like I play sports, like that was my whole identity, going into college and coming out of high school. So by the time we got to Maryville, it was like, yeah, all this is all I care about is running and being the best. And I get there, I quickly learned that I am no longer the best on the team like I was in high school, which was a weird kind of identity
We've all been
crisis.
there. We've
Yeah.
all been there. Yeah.
It was kind of a weird identity crisis right there off the jump. I'm just like, oh wow, these guys are fast. Like I know it's D3, but these dudes are still really, really fast, man.
Oh,
These dudes can huck down the trail. But yeah, so then we get rolling, freshman year. Everything's going well. School's going well enough. Passing all my classes, not straight A's by any means, but we're passing all of our classes. Um, and then I finally, at the end of the year, kind of get hit with the injury bug.
Yeah.
Which is, as you guys probably know, just horrendously draining for like your brain. Like, it's just so difficult to like have the drive when you are just constantly injured and there's not really much you can do about it.
yeah.
You can go to the training room, you can hit ice and stim for hours, but like, you're still injured, man. Like, you're still gonna run hurt. And
Yeah.
it's not really fun.
So talk to me about this, Matt, before we get too far here. I want to jump back to Georgia, to high school, because it was Marietta, right?
It was my first high school was Milton High School in Milton, Georgia.
I kind of want to jump back to this real quick, and part of what makes this podcast an asset to current athletes, and coaches and teachers that listen, I think, is understanding what current athletes nowadays may be going through based on kind of signs and symptoms. Okay. And kind of providing a roadmap for them to recognize signs. When you were in that headspace your sophomore year, what should people have been looking for to help you at that moment, or would you been able to been helped? I guess is kind of what I'm asking as well. Say a teacher's listening to this right now and they've got a question mark about a kid they're not too sure on, because you're a fun loving guy. I think anybody that knows you, you're always happy, which is kind of a common theme we hear about people that struggle with mental health sometimes, is that they present as very outgoing, very energetic. But what were kind of some symptoms that you think could have been picked up on a little earlier, Matt?
First, I want to give a shout out to my parents and to my teachers at the time. they did recognize it, thankfully, and we kind of got it, at least looked at. We had someone poke around my brain for a little bit. So shout out to everyone in my life at that point because, it was pretty easy to see with me. Like, I went from the fun-loving guy that you know me as now to very angry. I would say that was like the biggest sign is how quick to anger I would be. Like it would be drop of a hat. I'm like ready to go. Like throw them up. Like let's go. Like I'm ready for it. Let's fight. Like just angry. And that kind of showed in my everyday of like, mom and dad, don't talk to me. I'm gonna go slam my door. Like don't talk to me. My older brother, don't talk to me. Kids at school, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to any of you guys. I think if you're looking for certain signs, like I would start with the anger, because that's the one that really bubbled up and out for me. Like I would never be the one to be like, yeah, I'm not doing well, but you would know I was not doing well by how angry I'd get.
Yeah.
So I would think that's like probably the biggest sign is like someone's like just drop of a hat angry. Like there's probably some other stuff going on. It's probably not that they're actually angry at whatever's happening in front of them. It's that they're angry about life in general, and that probably needs to get looked at and addressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think it comes back to you truly never know what someone's going through, right? Like Luke said, the simple signs and symptoms, mental health is not a cookie cutter thing. It's really not. It comes in all shapes and sizes. So Luke, I love that question. And Matt, I love you being vulnerable, talking about it. Cause man, it sometimes you don't see it and sometimes it's so clear as day that you can't miss it, right? So just being clear on that. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I would say for me, it was like clear as day in high school, like clear
Right.
as day. Like I went from like the fun loving guy to, you know, no shade to however you dress or whatever music you listen to, but I made like the drastic switch of like, you know, dressing like all the rest of the athletes to being the metalhead. Always had headphones in, hood was always up, don't talk to me, don't bother me, I don't want to even be around you people kind of deal. So like I feel like for me it was pretty easy to tell.
Yeah.
Now, again, you never know what anybody's actually going through because, like, nobody really knew the self-harm stuff because I was sneaky about it. I didn't cut my wrists, I didn't cut my legs. I would, I would, I would cut the bottom of my feet, and when I'd go to practice, I wouldn't wear socks, so I never came home with bloody socks. So that's kind of how I did my self-harm, so no one could ever know because, like, the pain was for me, not for like other
Yeah.
people. So
Yeah.
that was a long time ago, man.
I'm-
Oof,
I'm
that's a
sorry.
brutal memory. That's a
I'm
brutal
sorry that
memory.
you had to go back there because it is, man. It is when you have those thoughts, man. And we talked about it a couple episodes ago where like everyone buries them in different ways, right? Everyone has like a vice or two or something that they do. My question is more on the uplifting, the powerful side. After the attempt or the attempts, how did you get through this time? Like, what got you to seeing the light of day and enjoying days again?
Well, in high school, I switched high schools, and I was suddenly kind of thrust into this position of like, hey, dude, like you get like a full restart. Like you don't know anybody here. Nobody knows you. You get a full restart. You get to be whatever person you want to be. And I think we can all do that in our daily lives, no matter what. You don't have to make any big changes, right? Like you can just wake up and be like, yeah, I'm going to be who I want to be today. I don't have to be anything for anybody else. Like I want to wake up and go run today. Great. I'll go run today. I want to go play golf. Yeah, I'm going to go play golf.
Yeah. And
If I want to sit on my couch all day, cool, man. Sit on your couch all day.
Yeah.
But like you get to decide every morning who you want to be today. So like just make that decision for yourself.
Yeah. I got chills throughout my whole body right now. There's things that like hit home with us on this podcast, and I see Luke's face right now is the same as mine. That absolutely hit home with me, and I want you to kind of slam dunk your point home, right? So you get that factory reset, right? You get that fresh start. For our listeners, you have one or two options at that point. One, you can go back to what you're doing and you could keep making those mistakes, the vices, not seeking treatment, help, or you could really change your life in an instant by putting in healthy habits, routines, and relationships. Talk about that, man. So the button flips on, you're ready to go. Talk about it.
Dude, so then it was just head first dive as hard as I can into running and being the best runner. So it went from like, being a normal high school kid to, all right, now I'm on a specialized diet, right? Like now, like this is what I eat for breakfast, this is what I eat for lunch, and this is what I eat for dinner every single day. This is how much water I take in every single day, and at certain times I take in more water or less water. Like I just started to build these routines that were going to make me better because that's all I wanted was to be the best at running. So like shout out to my dad. Big shout out to my dad because he was the one who was like, yeah, man, you want to do this? Like commit to it. And yeah, I'll help you every step of the way. He would meal prep for me for like a week at a time, just for school lunches. He would go and meal prep for me in the morning before he left for work.
Yeah.
He was taking me to the sports psychologist. He was the one, like going, yeah, you want to go over the track early? Like, yeah, I'll go over there with you and hit the stopwatch for you, like whatever you need. So like, shout out to him. But
Psychologist too, because that was like what, 2011, 2012.
the sports psychologist kind of probably came a little bit later. That one probably came senior year of high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had this really big problem with winning. It was never enough to like run my best time, set PRs or anything. Like a big problem for me in athletics, and I would say mental health in general, is that like winning was everything. Like I could run a 4:30 mile and smoke my best time. But if I came second, the race was pointless to me. Like I was like, well, what's the point of even lining up
Yeah.
if I'm gonna lose? So
Yeah.
that struggle still kind of hangs on. I still deal with that struggle, but like, yeah, man, I just dove head first in. Like I had that factory reset, and then just got to go. All right, cool, man. I'm going to be the best athlete this little tiny private school has ever seen.
I
That's
love
kind of
that
what
for
I
you.
did. That's kind of
I
what I
love
did.
that for you, man. I really do. And I can tell, well, and I always talk about this on our podcast, like your face changed when you started talking about this. Like it's incredible, man. And I can
Dude, the
see
glory
like the
days,
energy.
were sick, dude. Like it's fun to go back and think about like how good I actually was at doing this one specific thing. I don't hear your listeners. I don't run anymore at all. We will get to that, I'm sure, in a little while. But I don't run anymore, like ever, unless you're chasing me or I'm chasing you. I'm not really running for any
Yeah,
reason.
man. No,
But
for
like
sure.
getting to go back and like really think about some of this stuff it's a lot of fun because like man, I put a lot of effort into it and I saw the drastic changes and how much I got better and like thinking about that is really cool. Just knowing like, yeah, man, all the time and good things will happen.
Yeah, man. You didn't bunt. You didn't bunt, man. You had every opportunity to bunt in this game, in life, and what you were doing. Instead, you picked it up and ran with it, right? You started to eat better.
Literally,
You
yes.
literally did.
Literally.
No pun intended. You picked it up. You said, I'm going to be the best person I can be. You ate better. You got your dad, who I can just tell when you talk about him, you found a role model and an accountability partner and a support group with him and your mom and other people, right? And then all of a sudden, I bet you got better in the classroom. Things were going well. And then things started dominoing better for you. And that fires me up, man. It does.
Small changes affect a larger change. That's like one of my most favorite things, right? Like I said before we started recording, like the whole gluten-free thing. Yeah, that's one small change to get healthier overall because I want to get better at golf, right? Like that's what I'm into now. So now it's like, cool, I'm diving into golf, man, like really hard. I want to be good. So like,
Yeah.
and all these small changes eventually add up to just being healthier and feeling better, and also getting better at whatever you're trying to get better at.
Yeah. No,
yeah,
it's a good transition.
Small change affect big change.
That's a good transition here. And I think we touched on, they talk about in the Michael Jordan doc, The Last Dance. They talk about Michael didn't have a gambling problem. Michael had a winning problem. And you already said this earlier on the pod that you have a winning problem. And you know what? I respect that because everything that you go and do now, you want to be the best. But from an identity piece standpoint, that can be tough. So making that transition from running now to golfing in the professional world, talk about the identity piece as a runner, shedding that to getting where you're at now.
Oh man, all right. This one's gonna go for. I might ramble a touch here because
I'm
this
ready,
is like
baby. Let's
this
go.
is like my big thing with running and mental health and like being a college athlete, right? And so like that's all I wanted to do, right? And then I got there and I did it, and then I got bit by the injury, and then it was the next season I had joined a fraternity. And then I got hit with the injury bug again. And it was like, well, you might need to get surgery, you might not. We don't really know. We got to go MRIs, x-rays. We got to go get your knee checked out. So I was like, all right. And then finally it got to the point where I was just like, nah, man, like, I'm done. I'm done dealing with this, man. Like, this is not bringing me joy. Like, I'm not winning. I'm hurt all the time. 6 a.m. practices are no fun. I want to live a more normal college experience. So that's what I chose to do. I left the team my sophomore year at Maryville College, and I lost my whole identity. And so all of that identity that I had before, I essentially put into being the best party animal I could be.
Yeah.
Like I put all my energy into, yeah, dude, I'm gonna be the best frat bro anyone's ever seen.
Yeah.
So like when I lost that identity, I just kind of moved that, this is who I am as a person, which was never actually true. Neither of those identities were actually ever met, right? There's so much more than that. But like, that's what my whole identity was. And when I did that, I got a little too deep into the party scene, and my mental health started to fail drastically. And so every day I would wake up and not want to remember what happened the day before. So I would take a lot of pills and drink a lot of alcohol and never go to class. And, ended up having to leave Maryville College for a year and go out to Utah to get my drunk problem under control. Kids don't do Xanax, they're the devil. Anyway, fast forward to coming back after rehab, it was still like, oh man, like I don't really have an identity. I just spent 3 months in Utah, like backpacking and climbing and stuff. I guess I'm gonna be like this granola guy now. And that didn't really work for me either. And so it finally got to the point of, hey man, what is your actual identity? Well, I'm Matt. Okay, what does that actually mean though? Well, it means a lot of different things. I don't have to be just the golf guy, or I don't have to be like a sneakerhead, or I don't have to be the runner guy. I don't have to be the washed up athlete. I don't have to be, the frat dude. I can be all of those things or none of those things all at the same time.
Yeah.
The identity crisis, I think, for athletes is one of the hardest things to do with transitions for athletes.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like you see it all the time with like pros when they retire, they don't really like know what to do or anything, right? You hear about a lot of bad things that happen after pros retire. It's because they lost that whole identity that they've had their whole life, and then they don't know what to do with themselves.
And
So I think it's really important for people to like actually sit with themselves and be like, who are you? Like, what do you want to be?
Well, I think you've done a great job too. Now, Matt, knowing you for the last, I don't even know how many years now. I guess we would have met freshman year, but probably sophomore year more. So probably 8 years. Like you said, we were acquaintances at first, and now we've been best friends for a couple years now. And I think what you've done great is take those lessons now of the identity piece, and you're a super hard worker at your job, and you're an entrepreneur, and you're about to start a new business, but you don't let that be your whole identity. You have other things that you love to do. You don't let this take over your life, right? You have a really good balance now, or so from what I've seen. How did you get to that point?
Yeah, what do you credit that to? Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Dude, a lot of extremely, extremely difficult hard work. No one wants to do the work because it's not fun to, really dive deep into yourself and into your brain and like deal with some of the trauma and stuff, man. Like it is not fun, but like at some point you gotta do it. I would say in the last few years, I would say it has a lot to do with my therapist. shout out Eric Minton. I know you're listening. Shout
boy.
out, homie. You're
Let's
the
go,
best.
Eric. Let's go, baby.
You're the best therapist that's ever walked this earth, bro. You're the best. You've single-handedly changed my life around.
Oh my goodness.
Shout out to Eric. But yeah, there was a lot of things that also had to happen before that, before therapy could even be a thing. I was very anti-therapy for a long time because the first time around in high school, it didn't really go well for me.
You got to find your fit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about finding the right fit. But yeah, so a lot of things had to happen, a lot of hard work and a lot more difficult things on the road of life had to happen for me to really be like, all right, man, like, there needs to be some balance here. You can't just live like this forever. Like, it won't work. You can't wake up every day and just dread getting out of bed. It still happens to me a lot, but like, you still got to get up and out of bed every day. So, it was honestly, it was just a lot of really hard work.
Yeah.
And a lot of tough circumstances that had to roll through. The storms had to roll through for, the grass to be up.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And here's what I'll say too. As this episode goes on, man, like it's such an overcoming story as we go into this deeper, because once again, you had opportunities where I got to the top of the mountain again. Nope, I'm right back to the bottom. Like there's just so many times where you could have quit this, man. But like we say in our mantra, man, the ability to keep going, man, is so inspiring to me and for our listeners. And when Luke said you were coming on this week, man, he didn't oversell this, man. This is who you are. It's who you are.
Thank you so much, Patty Daddy. That's really awesome to hear. I'm still doing a lot of really hard work. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, this is definitely not like I'm 100% like, look at me, I'm better now. Listen to what I have to say. Nah, like I'm still putting in the hard work. I was in therapy on Monday. I'll be in therapy next Monday. Like I'm still putting in the work. But it's all about surrounding yourself with the right people. And yeah, keep going, man. Like, one of my favorite athletes growing up was Lance Armstrong.
Oh yeah.
Did he cheat? Yeah, he did. Whatever. All right, we can get that out of the way. But like,
we know now. That dude
was just yeah, right. Like it was 90s baseball. Everybody was doing.
Right.
But like that man just had the ultimate drive of, no, I'm gonna keep going. And then later in life, it became Tiger Woods. And Tiger Woods, I mean, good Lord, the man had 18 back surgeries, 3 wrist surgeries, almost lost his leg and still playing golf. Yeah, man. I can get up and out of bed today and go see my friends.
Yeah,
I can get up and go eat healthy today.
100%.
If they can do that, then I can do it. I can get up. Yeah. And I can get out of bed today.
Yeah. This is a segue, man. Luke, ask him the question, bro.
Yeah, Matt. So obviously the Keep Going podcast. So we need you to tell us your keep going moment, man.
Oh, which one? Do you want high school? Do you want college? Do you want now? Which one?
Give me a hodgepodge. Give me a hodgepodge of them.
Pick of the litter.
High school necessarily wasn't my moment. It was my best friend back then, Austin Coleman.
Shout him out.
Yeah, shout out Austin Coleman. We played basketball in high school together. He was on the golf team. He was my best friend. We were inseparable. So I'm going to kind of steal his story for this one. His parents went through a divorce, and we both went to this small little private school that my parents lived very, very close to. Once his parents got separated, they moved away from each other, pretty far away from the school, so it ended up being Austin just stays at my house every night, just because we'll just wake up and go to school together, whatever. And finally, when he was able to see his dad come to a basketball game and not lose it, and he went off for like 30 that game. He was a sick basketball player. Goes off for like 30, but every time before that, if his dad walked in or you mentioned dad, is crumbled to pieces. So the keep going moment of like being in the middle of the game going, oh no, Austin's about to lose it, and then him go, let's lock in, boys. We got it. We're gonna win. I'm gonna lead us there. I'm like, go, brother, go. College, it would be when my dad was like, hey man, everything's okay. Don't worry. This is after I had left school to go to rehab. This is after I quit cross country. This is when I'm like just breaking down in tears in my father's arms, going, man, I don't know what to do. I tried to kill myself again, and like I don't know what to do. And him going, yeah, man, everything's gonna be all right. That was the moment where it's like, all right, cool. I can keep going. I can't keep bad at this. I'm not bad at life. Like, I'm okay at this. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah.
And then recently, this one is the big one. Keep going moment. 2 years ago, I lost one of my best friends to suicide.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, it is the way of the world. People live and people die. It is. He made his own decision. I cannot hold myself accountable for his decisions. But that was the moment where it's like, all right, it's really time to kick it into gear. Because not only did I lose a best friend, now I gained a little sister, another mom, and the rest of my friend group. They all need me too. I got to keep going, not for him, but for these other people to make sure that they are okay as well. Climbing a mountain's really fun, but getting to the top and realizing you're alone kind of sucks.
Yeah.
You'd rather do it with people you love.
Amen, man.
So I would say that was the most recent one. It's like, that's when it's like, all right, keep going. Here we go. Let's get back on the horse.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Luke.
I remember around that time we were getting really close again. And I remember the pain you had in that moment and how you were able to overcome it. Super proud of you for that, man. Super proud of you for that.
I appreciate that. I
Just
appreciate it.
think about your story arc, right? Like of where you started in high school, went back up, kind of fell down in college again, back up, fell back down, but now you're helping me out like every single day, and you're picking me up every single day like that. That's a pretty amazing thing to see your arc there, and we're really glad that you came on and shared your story today for sure.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. I really enjoy sharing my story because it has so many ups and downs, like you said, Luke. So I really enjoy it. If there's any way that I can help anybody ever, that's what I want to do. There's no greater cause than to be there for your friends.
Man, I love it, man. And usually, and if you're gonna run this recording back today, listen to this a couple of times because I have not stopped. I think I yawned once because the time changed, but I have not stopped smiling in the last 30 minutes of this conversation. This is inspiring. This is motivational. This is a true underdog story of conquering adversity from so many different levels and seasons. I would usually go into a couple different questions here, like we've done the last couple episodes. I only have two. We'll see what Luke has. The first one is, what is your legacy plan now? Like when this is all said and
Lost you there, Pat. Try that one more time, buddy.
Yeah, one more time. I lost you a little bit.
yeah, it's my girlfriend FaceTiming me in the middle of the podcast. So she doesn't know I'm recording this every week at the same time. No worries. I said what?
Hey, no shade.
No shade.
You want to talk about like my whole entire world? That's her. So I'm not gonna.
No shade.
But she knows this is episode gazillion. But we're still doing this. My question, Matt, was at the end of the day, man, what's your legacy plan? So when this is all said and done, what do you want people to think about you, and what do you want to leave on this earth?
Someone asked me this the other day, and I think I found my perfect answer. Not the perfect answer for everybody. I think I found the perfect answer for me. All I care to be known as when I'm dead and gone is a good friend. I think above all else, you should be a constant and loyal good friend, whether that's tough love or act like, regular love, doesn't matter. Being there for your friends means more than anything, right? So I want to be known as successful. I want my restaurant to take off when we're done building. I want all those things to be part of my legacy, but the one I actually care about is that people remember me as a good friend.
Yeah,
I love it, man.
I think they will. Me and you have had some difficult conversations over the last year with that tough love, and I think
I'm coming from both sides too.
Look,
both sides.
We won't go into that right now, but you already checked that box for me. So
I love it,
100%.
Man. I think it's something I tell my players every day. It's you can be disciplined, right? Like I can be disciplined. I can be hard on you, but at the end of the day, I'm always gonna love you twice as hard. And
Yeah.
Exactly.
that's it.
Exactly.
And that's you and Luke's relationship to a T, man. Sometimes this is great. I'm glad that Luke brought this up. You have to be that guy sometimes to be like, yo, Maddie, come on, brother. This is not, it's not your
Get
time.
up.
Get up. It's not your time to lay here all day.
Get
Yeah.
up and keep going, man.
Yeah.
Get up.
That's
Let's
it.
go.
That's
Let's keep
it,
going.
brother. That's it. And then that takes me to my last thing. I'll open it up to Luke to kind of cap us. But we've tried to do a better job over the last 10, 15 episodes at asking people how we can help them, because you jumping on a Sunday morning to talk mental health with us has not only changed my life today, we're going to leave this conversation differently, but hundreds and hopefully thousands of people. What can we do to help you, Matt, kind of keep going and do your thing?
Keep being a good friend to everyone around you, and most importantly, be a good friend to yourself. Be a good friend to yourself, because I get a lot of, energy. I get a lot of the good vibes when I see people being happy genuinely, right? Like, I want genuine happiness for everybody. I don't want anybody to ever feel the way I felt. So how can you help me? Man, be a good friend. Be a good friend to yourself. Be a great coach, Pat.
Thank you.
Luke, be a great coach. Like, that's what I want. I want to see everyone else do well. So do it for yourself.
Thank you.
That's how I need the help. Is I need that energy of like, man, you're doing great. You're doing great. You're happy. You're happy. This is
Oprah
sick.
Winfrey. Give
I
it out.
love it.
Give
I
out
love
good
it.
energy.
Everybody's happy,
I
man. Let's
love
go.
it, Maddie. I love it. Luke, what you got, bro?
No, man, I don't necessarily have a question. I just want to thank Matt for the 1,000th time for being there for me and for overcoming the trials and tribulations that he has over the last half of his life. Like it's pretty amazing to see his arc, and I'm super proud of him for working as hard as he does. He's one of the best customer service people around. It. He slings the beer right now at Peaceful Side, and he's about to open up his own spot in about a year here called Fighting Scots Pub in Maryville. And it's really a dedication to his work in the community, and the community service aspect of his life is amazing. So shout out to Matt, and we really appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Thanks so much, guys. Pat, real quick, you want to know how I can help? You can help me,
Yeah,
actually.
man.
I want to amend my answer here.
Oh my goodness, the first ever
I want-
amended answer to
somebody
this
who has-
question.
Yes.
Well, it's not a true amendment here,
He
but
said,
maybe just
everyone treat your friends terribly. I got one more coming for you. Here we go.
No, what I would really like, Pat, is for you to come down to Tennessee and we just go to dinner and we just blow it out together.
I love that.
And rip stories.
I love that, man. I love that.
And share in the joy that is, communing with each other.
Man, I love that, man. You are a godsend, man. You are someone that is meant to be here, and I'm so damn happy that you're here rocking with us, man. Thank you for that.
Man, I'm so happy I'm here too, boys. Thank you so much for having me on today. I don't know if you told you, I've been bugging Luke for like a year to get on the pod, man. I was like, dude, you gotta have me on the pod, man. I got a lot I can talk
We
about.
should have put you on episode 1 if I would have known who you were, man. This is incredible today, and I love you guys. I love all of our listeners. I love the community that we're creating, and boys and girls, we're just getting started. So I love you guys, and above all else, keep going, guys. Appreciate it.
Go on.
Keep going, gang.